In this Minecraft snapshot, you can now make over 600 million different combinations of armor using the armor trim feature. Stay tuned to find out how. Welcome to Snapshot 23W05A, where we have more changes to the 1.20 feature that is armor trim. This snapshot, however, also has some features for 1.19.4, and we're going to get into those first. The Create New World screen has been updated. If we jump in and create one, you'll see that there are 3 tabs neatly organizing things at the top of the screen. In the Game tab, the options are self-explanatory. The thing I'd point out here is that none of the options take you to yet another screen. In the World tab, you can choose your type, put in the seed, choose some options, but also customize, which goes into another screen, but it goes no further than this selection. And if you select super flat, then clicking on customize will bring you to the typical super flat customization menu. And the more tab has game rules, which leads you into a long list of options you can choose to have in your world, and also the data pack screen where you can select data packs and put them into your game. This is how you select the 1.20 features that we'll be checking out in this video. And if you use the data pack, you will get this reminder to let you know that these things are under development and they can break the world you're using them in. And some of you would have noticed in the World tab there's no import settings and no export settings for creating custom worlds. And unfortunately, I don't know if this change is permanent or not, if they've just decided to remove this. My guess is that they're probably figuring out the best way to put it into that menu system. Also for 1.19.4, there is a change to the effect give command. You now have the option in time not to put a number, but also to put infinite, and this means that effect will just last forever. And when you use this, instead of having a number ticking down, you will just see the infinity icon below the name of the effect. And another small change for 1.19.4, which you might have noticed me doing in the intro in this video, was simply swapping over my armor by right-clicking. This is a feature that is on the Bedrock edition of the game, but not on Java, and so that's been changed for parity reasons. All in all, seems like a nifty, convenient little change, and it's also interesting considering the amount of changes that are happening to armor at the moment. And that brings us to Minecraft 1.20. We're going to start off with the enchantment glint that has been changed again. Yes, it's very subtle to see, but the items that I'm holding here are in fact enchanted, but the glint is now so much more subtle. But we now have some control over this. Notice how the glint speed is a little bit faster. And now it's still there, but it's far less visible. That's because we have control over this through the accessibility settings. There is now glint speed, which by default is 50%, and glint strength, which is by default 100%. I should also point out that tooltips in this menu have been repositioned so that they no longer obscure the button that you're actually trying to look at. And this image that you're looking at here is the glint texture from the previous snapshot of Minecraft. And now it's really been darkened, and this is what the texture file is for the current snapshot. So this is quite the visual nerf. Here I am with the default settings. Let's change it over to netherite that's also been enchanted, and then change it over to regular netherite just so you can see how subtle it is now. Next up, let's talk about armor trim changes, because there has certainly been a few of them. And with 11 of these different patterns, only one of them has been revised. The dune with its 4 squares has been pushed up a little bit, and some of the texture has been removed from the side too. You can see this if we take a close look at the texture files here. I'm just swapping from the old to the new. This is the old one, this is the new one. Small changes indeed, but these ones over here are far more interesting. They are the result of using the same material on the same armor, which previously was only doable with commands, and if you did that, well, you'd barely see the textures on top of them, but here we can clearly see them. But maybe not so much with the netherite armor. Anyway, the best way to see this in action is with a smithing table. I'm going to throw in a template, we're going to put diamond on here, and then we're going to look at the armor stand on the right. That's what it looks like when you put diamond on diamond. If I swap this over for iron, you'll see that the color of the diamond actually changes color over the top of the iron. So if I swap between gold and iron, those stay the same, yet when we switch out to diamond, it goes to a darker texture. And that's what all of these are. They're darker equivalents of the same material, which again doesn't really work on netherite. Maybe that one should be made lighter. And these changes come with technical changes in the back end too. Incompatible armor material has been removed and replaced with override armor materials. This essentially allows the game to replace the gold texture with the darker gold texture. So now you can make a total of 660 armor types, right? However, as I said in the intro, that number is now actually through the roof. And we are about to get to that, but just before we do, please do take the time to like this video if you want to support it, and subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. Doing so will keep you up to speed with all of these Minecraft changes. So how did I arrive on such an astronomically large number? Well, it's because of leather armor and something unique that they have. The ability to be dyed, but not just dyed once, you can actually dye these multiple times and create an extremely large combination of different color values. You'll notice every time that I hover over here, the color value changes. And I read this on the internet, so it means that it's 100% true, of course. There are supposedly well over 5 million combinations of different leather armor color you can make. If we combine that with 10 different materials of trim and the 11 different templates, and then add 660 on top of that, that's how we got to this astronomically large number. So this you can probably imagine, but I'll show you anyway. In the smithing table, we can put in regular leather armor and dye that. We can also put one that's been dyed in with a simple combination of colors and one that's been done with lots of different dyes. It will accept any type and add the trim to it. And this is where I think the armor trim really shines. You have so much more control over the combination of colors when combined together, whereas some of these can be a little bit garish in one person's opinion. Over here you'll be able to subtly tweak the colors you want to combine together. All in all, a fantastic change, but I think the common discussion now is going to be how weak leather armor is, how easy it can break, even though it's really nice aesthetically. Last of all, let's talk about templates and getting your hands on them, as some much needed balancing has been done. So these armor trims are always going to have 2 of them in a loot chest if you find one. That's Dune from the Desert Pyramid, Coast from a shipwreck, Wild from a jungle temple, and Sentry from a villager outpost. The reasoning here is that by giving the player 2, it will give them an opportunity to understand that these templates get consumed when creating without running out of a template. The Netherite upgrade smithing template is now twice as common. This is the one found in Bastion Remnants. And the reasoning here states, while we do want Netherite upgrading to be more challenging, we felt previous rates did not encourage further exploration after finding the first Nether upgrade template. And that to me just sounds a little confusing if they've made it more common and easier to find. The ice smithing table can now be found in every stronghold library chest. It will always generate with one. And due to how loot tables generate in the Woodland Mansion, you'll now have a 50% chance of finding one there. That is the Vex armor trim, of course. As it states here on the website, some generations of Woodland Mansions can be really unlucky, so this now makes it far more likely your Woodland Mansion will have one of these inside. It also states that smithing templates across the board have been made slightly more common. And this is absolutely right, all of the loot tables have been increased in one way or another. And apart from a few minor bug fixes, that's pretty much everything there is to know. So if you've got nothing else to do, please do swing by my website, linktree.asuma.co. It's always being updated and there's some interesting stuff to discover there. Did you know I play guitar? I've uploaded videos of me playing guitar, and I also make music. There's a bunch of Minecrafty stuff on there as well, so go have a browse and see if you can find something interesting. But that's it from me, so thanks for watching, and I'll see you soon with another one.